Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Let's kick things off with a question that might just rearrange your everyday understanding of reality a bit. What if the ancient stories of gods and mythical beings weren't just captivating folklore, but our three-dimensional minds grappling with realities far beyond our current grasp?
Hmm,
What if truth and legend are more intimately woven together than we've ever really dared to imagine?
that's a big question to start with.
It is, and today we're embarking on an exploration that promises a fresh perspective on tarot, on the profound power of belief, and maybe even on the very fabric of reality itself.
Sounds fascinating. What's our guide here?
Our journey is inspired by a truly unique source, the Cosmic Deities Tarot Guidebook. Our mission, basically, is to understand how this guide positions tarot as a potential bridge to higher dimensions,
Okay.
and how it suggests we can empower ourselves, reshape our own reality through belief and shifting perspective.
So it's more than just interpreting cards then.
Much more. The guidebook we're delving into introduces this unique tarot deck that intricately blends global mythology with universal archetypes. It's offering a lens, to view ancient wisdom anew.
It's more than just a guidebook, isn't it? It feels like an invitation to pause and, well, truly reconsider our fundamental understanding of what's real and how we might interact with forces we often label as unseen or purely symbolic.
It certainly does. And it begins with this really intriguing collaboration. The guidebook introduces us to Bai Zi, remember the ancient keeper of supernatural knowledge from Chinese mythology,
Right, by seeing.
described as a direct collaborator on this project.
Wow, okay.
And Bai Zi invites us to ponder the very nature of truth and legend, suggesting they intertwine far more intimately than we typically suspect. It's a fascinating way in.
It's a pretty interesting stage.
Okay, so to help us grasp what that might mean, the guidebook offers this compelling analogy. Imagine a being that exists only in two dimensions, like a flatlander, living on a piece of paper.
Uh-huh.
This being perceives only length and width, nothing else.
Right. Completely flat.
So to that two-dimensional creature, our simple ability to lift an object, to move it up or down outside their flat plane,
Yeah.
that would seem utterly miraculous, like divine intervention. They just wouldn't have a concept of up or down as we know it.
What's truly thought-provoking here is how that simple analogy immediately expands our thinking about our own perceived limitations. If we extend that logic, how might a being existing in, say, 12 dimensions manifest to us? Their ability to move through time with the same ease we move through space would appear completely godlike.
Right, unimaginable.
Their perception of multiple realities, accessing various timelines simultaneously, that would strike us as omniscience.
Total knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And their capacity to influence events across dimensions in ways we can't possibly comprehend would undoubtedly seem omnipotent,
Oh.
all-powerful. So this leads to a pretty profound question. What if our ancestors' tales of divine figures, Zeus flinging lightning bolts or deities appearing out of thin air,
Yeah.
what if those weren't mere fantasy, but their best attempts to frame and engage with realities existing beyond our current three-dimensional perception?
So not necessarily literal, but descriptive?
Kind of. It's
Yeah.
not about proving them right scientifically, but maybe considering the possibility of a different kind of truth being expressed.
It makes you look at those old myths with entirely new eyes, doesn't it?
Definitely.
And the guidebook truly leans into that idea. It describes this particular tarot deck not just as a stack of cards, but as a living archive of mythological force.
A living archive.
Yeah. Gods, goddesses, legendary figures from varied cultures converged within it, and each, it claims, resonates with traditional tarot energies. And here's where it gets really unique. The source material states that the deities themselves have guided these representations.
Guided them. How?
Well, it suggests they ensured their essence and power are authentically captured. It's an extraordinary claim, suggesting this deep, almost channeled connection. It certainly adds a layer of, depth to the deck's purpose.
Indeed. The guidebook posits that these mythological figures are simultaneously more and less than our ancestors described,
How so?
existing beyond the full reach of our limited human imagination, yet closer than we might think when approached through this dimensional lens. This deck, then, becomes a kind of tangible interface, a way to connect.
Okay.
What's fascinating to consider is how such a claim might resonate across different spiritual or even psychological models. I mean, even if you don't take the deity's guiding part literally,
Yeah, right.
it still speaks to the power of archetypes, doesn't it? And shared human experience, channeling these profound collective energies.
Which brings us to a really interesting point about the nature of tarot itself. The author's perspective is clear. This isn't about parlor tricks or, fortune telling in the way people usually think of it. Instead, they tell us tarot is more like a mirror, but instead of reflecting your face, it reflects your story.
I like that. A mirror for your story.
Yeah. Each card, in this view, represents an archetype, a universal pattern or role. The seeker, the guide, the protector, the shapeshifter.
Familiar roles.
Exactly. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're energies that emerge in every human life. And across cultures and time, we've instinctively given names and faces to those energies. Gods, deities, divine figures.
And this specific deck takes that concept a powerful step further. It uniquely pairs each tarot archetype with a sacred figure from global traditions.
Right, specific pairing.
Carefully chosen, the guidebook explains, to channel the specific energy of that card. So it's not arbitrary. It's designed to invite a direct relationship, maybe, with powerful entities who have guided human consciousness for centuries.
Whether we still actively worship them or not.
Exactly. It's about tapping into timeless wisdom, regardless of whether their original belief systems are still actively practiced or exist primarily in ancestral myth. It's connecting to something bigger, something ancient, intelligent, and, well, deeply resonant with the human experience, offering a framework for understanding ourselves within a grander narrative.
And the guidebook is quite bold here, suggesting these cards are higher dimensional portals.
Portals. Okay, that's a strong word.
It is. It proposes they are like specialized instruments for energies beyond ordinary perception. Perhaps even points where higher dimensional realities intersect our own. It's quite a significant leap for, a simple deck of cards.
This is where we delve into some of the most profound and maybe speculative ideas in the text. It asks us to consider whether certain practices, like creating sacred space before a reading.
Setting the mood.
Right, but maybe it's more than mood. Could it literally alter the geometry of space-time around us? That's the kind of question it raises.
Wow.
And when the guidebook talks about the cards being ancient technology, forging quantum connections beyond our limited concepts of causality, it's using advanced physics partly as a metaphor, I think. What it really seems to mean is that these cards are suggested to bridge realities in ways we don't yet fully understand through our current scientific lens. It's about a form of connection that seems to defy our everyday logic of cause and effect, inviting us to imagine possibilities where intention and focused attention might literally shift our experience of reality.
That's a lot to take in. But it connects to intuition, doesn't it? Traditional tarot wisdom always advises trusting your intuition when interpreting cards. It's kind of a cornerstone, that gut feeling.
But what if intuition itself is far more than just a gut feeling? The guidebook posits that intuition might actually be our mind's capacity to process information across dimensions unknown to our conscious awareness.
So like picking up on things we don't consciously register.
Sort of. When you gaze upon the artwork in each card, you're encouraged to view it as peering through a window into hidden realms, considering how these deities might appear from a different dimensional vantage point.
Okay.
The interpretive frameworks, the meanings we've assigned to these cards for centuries, are described as navigational coordinates.
Navigational coordinates.
Yeah, simply put, they're guides that help you locate and engage specific energies in this vast, interconnected tapestry of existence. A multiverse, if you like. The cards don't necessarily predict the future in a strict linear sense, but maybe reveal probability patterns in dimensions beyond our linear sense of time.
Like seeing potential.
Exactly. Much like an MRI slices through a three-dimensional object to show us cross-sections of reality. The cards aren't telling you what will happen, perhaps, but showing you the strongest currents or tendencies in the many possible futures, influenced by energies you might not consciously perceive.
This raises a powerful question then. How much power does our belief actually hold in shaping all of this?
A key question.
The guidebook dives deep into this profound concept of belief, using the medical placebo effect as a really vivid example.
Right, the placebo effect is undeniable.
In countless clinical trials, a sugar pill can literally create measurable change and improvement in a patient simply because they believed they were receiving actual medicine. Belief had a physical effect.
And this is where the source encourages us to be profoundly mindful of our own internal dialogue, saying that's not real.
Yeah.
About something you can't touch or measure.
Yeah.
It's, as the guidebook states, like casting a spell on yourself. It effectively shuts the door to possibility.
Interesting way to put it.
Instead, by simply asking, how magical would it be if X were real? You open that door, even just a crack. Belief, in this context, becomes the bridge. It's not about what's real in a laboratory necessarily, but about what becomes real in you. This isn't advocating blind faith, but maybe choosing a perspective that allows for more expansive possibilities. That's a potent reframe.
The guidebook uses this vivid anecdote to really bring this home. Imagine taking a man from ancient Greece and showing him lightning.
Okay.
He falls to his knees and cries, "Zeus!" No explanation of electricity or weather patterns will shake him because in his world, that lightning is proof that thunder is present.
The reality.
Exactly. That's belief in action, creating his reality. The guidebook suggests that while many tarot decks might feel like they're spinning on a wavelength that's too fast or too foreign for some people, this particular Cosmic Deities deck is designed to slow the ride.
Slow a ride.
Yeah, it aims to bring the frequency down to a place where anyone can enter gently, without judgment or dogma, just resonance. It's about easing into openness, allowing you to gradually become more receptive to these, well, nuanced energies.
This slowing the ride feels quite crucial for bridging these big concepts. It suggests creating a gradual shift in perspective, allowing those subtle, meaningful experiences, those synchronicities maybe, to register, moving from perhaps a deeply ingrained skepticism to a whispered, maybe. Maybe there's something to that.
Becoming more present.
Right, becoming still and present enough to genuinely be open to new frequencies of information, you could say.
So what does this all mean when we talk about how we actively perceive and interact with the world around us? The guidebook introduces this concept of spin.
Spin, like
Yeah.
physics.
Not just physical motion, but perspective. It's the direction and energy you assign to what you see, feel, and believe. It's fundamentally how you frame your world.
Okay, got it. Perspective is spin.
Think about giving kindergartners a pile of scraps from an art room, trash bin torn paper, bent straws, glitter spills, and asking them to make something.
Chaos ensues.
They'd come back with wild, chaotic creations, right?
Right.
Now you, as an adult, could look at it and say, wow, this is brilliant, imaginative, full of heart.
Oh.
Or you could scoff, this looks like a pile of garbage glued together by a 5-year-old.
Right. Same materials, different judgment.
Exactly. Same materials, same effort, same kids. But the spin is completely different. The guide points out that both statements are inherently correct, in a way.
True enough.
But why choose the negative when a positive spin can create more beauty, more confidence, more momentum? Giving a compliment on that trash might just give a child the confidence to become the next Picasso, you know?
Exactly. Spin isn't just an abstract idea. It deeply shapes emotion, thought, and meaning. Choosing to see with kindness, curiosity, or wonder isn't being naive. The guidebook suggests it's being powerful.
Powerful how?
It allows you to see magic where others see mess. It's about recognizing that what might seem like scraps from the edge of consciousness could actually be profound art from the soul, depending entirely on the perspective you bring to it. And this concept also extends powerfully to how we interpret the tarot cards themselves, particularly reversed cards.
Reversed cards. Always tricky.
Traditionally seen as negative, right? You're doomed, or something like that.
Pretty much.
But the guidebook encourages us to consider them a dimensional rotation.
Dimensional rotation. What does that mean, practically?
Well, it suggests it's a shift that our more linear, maybe two-dimensional thinking interprets as a transformation or an obstacle. It's urging us to pivot, perhaps, slow down, or course correct. It's framed as a handshake with higher dimensional intelligences, highlighting complexities or different aspect of the energy, something that might have been unseen at first glance.
Like refocusing a lens.
Exactly. And camera lens refocusing to reveal a different detail, maybe one that's crucial but wasn't obvious before.
As we wrap up this deep dive, it's really clear these cards are presented as far more than just simple divination tools.
Much more.
They are described as portals into an ancient, ever-present wellspring of knowledge, mirrors reflecting universal truths, and catalysts for spiritual evolution.
And the overarching message from this guidebook, it seems, is one of profound empowerment. You hold the steering wheel.
Not predetermined fate.
Right? These cards offer guidance, not fate. They encourage an open mind, inviting you to, well, dance with powers that maybe transcend ordinary understanding. The source material beautifully concludes with the thought, be careful what you give your beliefs to, because what you believe will shape your reality. That's a powerful takeaway.
It really is. Building on that, let's leave you with this provocative thought to maybe mull over. If you were to fully embrace the possibility that the world around you is imbued with more magic, more higher dimensional interactions, and the profound influence of your own belief than you currently perceive,
Hmm.
what profound shifts might you observe in your own reality? What new, perhaps even whimsical world might you begin to inhabit simply by shifting your spin?
Something to ponder indeed.
It's something to ponder long after our deep dive ends. Thank you for exploring these fascinating ideas with us today.